Good morning, comrades. Just Jeff today. Just gonna talk a little bit for your July 4th very extra special edition of Good Morning Comrade. Yeah, maybe I don't sound so excited right now because I don't get that excited about the 4th. It's not really a holiday that I think about. I'm a teacher, so it's the middle of summer. I start to think, that's the real point where summer is, more than halfway over, and now not that I don't love my job. I do. I certainly absolutely do. It's just that the summer is really great, and it's one of the better parts of doing this. And when you see that, it's almost like that's the line that means that half of the party's over, and now you have to sort of start looking and seeing that, yeah, it's about to be go time again, and it's time to really gear up. So anyway, who's here is going to the extremely exciting parade that the President of the United States is putting on. I tell you what, that is something. It is absolutely something. There's going to be tanks driving all the way around downtown Washington, D.C. this weekend, or this Thursday. It's a little bit problematic, don't you think? This sort of, Trump's called it, the president has called it a celebration of America and a celebration of the military. And those are two things that I'm not particularly excited about celebrating. America right now is not that it ever really has done good things, but it's doing particularly bad things right now. There are concentration camps taking place at the borders. Robert talked about this just the other day, but if you take a look at any of those pictures where you can see people just sitting in these cages, and that's what they are, they're pens. The first thing I thought when I saw the conditions that these people were existing in was that these people looked like they were in this is like the conditions of factory farms, and this is not even animals, obviously, not making it, that's not, not saying animals deserve this kind of treatment either, but human beings are being treated worse than that. It's absolutely reprehensible. You should see, if you haven't seen the pictures that were released from the Inspector General's report, or from the report of the Congress folks, Ayanna Pressley, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Joaquin Castro, Julian Castro's brother, who's running for president. It's bad, folks. It's not good at all. The conditions right there are, when people are calling these concentration camps, they ain't kidding. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, amongst the other folks who visited, she said that she saw that some of the detainees were being told to drink out of toilets. They're filled, like I said before, in double capacity. They have, I think, about 70 or so people in a pen that's designed to hold 30 people, and they're jammed in there. You would need a crowbar to get another person in there. They're on top of one another. It truly does look like a hell, and this is something that is being done on purpose. The administration has said that they are intentionally making the conditions as bad as possible as to deter people from continuing to attempt to cross the border in the future. And so what you're doing when you put people in a hard position on this end, and they're already on an incredibly difficult position from where they're coming from. Many of the people that are coming here from Honduras or El Salvador or Guatemala, pardon my accent, they're fleeing dangerous conditions, warlike conditions, you could even say. The United States has done a lot of this as well, specifically and most recently, I suppose, in Honduras, when they participated, the Obama administration participated in the overthrowing of the head of government and the president of Honduras in 2009. Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State at that time. So what the United States has created this problem, and also we're trying to, so essentially we've created the factors that are making people flee to the United States, and at the same time we're cutting off any refuge that these people could possibly have. It's an absolutely reprehensible position to be in, and this is on the United States. And but don't pay attention to any of that. I mean, look at the tank rolling down downtown Washington, D.C. Isn't that great? Don't you want to see a tank just like driving around your town? Maybe they'll shoot. Who knows? You know, maybe they'll play some Lee Greenwood. Maybe they'll, do Proud to be American. They love that song. And, have some hamburgers, hot dogs, Impossible Burgers, whatever it is that you do these days to celebrate America. Well, America is torture. I mean, putting people in through torturous conditions. It's basically torture. That the U.S. has tortured people in the past as well. Abu Ghraib comes to mind. Guantanamo also comes to mind. Remember the forced rectal feeding that was a part of that torture report for the United States. So, go America? You always see people get like super excited about America and American, culture and American music, if there is even such a thing. I guess there is. But Scott, one of our crew, sent me an absolutely ridiculous video from a couple of years back from this guy who would sing he would sing the national anthem, and he would paint just the other day, my brother Scott sent me this ridiculous video of this guy. I'm not even going to say his name, but he would sing the national anthem whilst painting, or purportedly painting to purporting to paint a picture of the soldiers putting up the flag at Iwo Jima during the Second World War, during the sort of island hopping section, where we would just go from island to island and just destroy every person in there to attempt to get rid of Japanese soldiers. And he would paint this picture while singing the song. But I mean, if you watch the first off, it's a stupid idea. I guess it's a decent hustle if people will pay you to do it. It's a hustle's gotta hustle, I suppose, but this hustle is particularly bad. Why would anybody pay for this? He would, and it's not even that impressive. The picture that he would have would be extremely heavily prepped, and he just has to do a couple of a couple of smudges to make it look like the thing that it already is. It's got the forms of the characters and the people that are in the photograph are already there. So he's just basically singing and doing finger paint. It's ridiculous. It's not impressive. It's I guess it's worth a laugh. Maybe not quite such a more of like a nervous laugh, perhaps? I don't know. However, there's also been a lot of talk about shoes, sneakers. Nike's back in the news again because conservatives are mad at them. Why are conservatives mad at Nike? Well, they recently pulled a set of shoes that were going to have the Betsy Ross version of the United States flag. There's no actual. Well, I'm not going to make claims like that, but essentially, you've seen it. It's the stripes with the 13 stars in the circle. It's the flag that was that some parts of the U.S. They weren't even the U.S. yet. Well, I guess they were. Yeah, the United States forces would fly when they were, fighting against the British in the American War of Independence. So anyway, this is also this particular flag. Is the symbol of a lot of sort of right-wing militia groups. 3%ers come to mind. They, so Nike puts out these shoes, and they send them to all of their distributors and to the shops that they're supposed to go to, and then Colin Kaepernick steps up and he intervenes and says that this is actually something that's not what we should be proud of. And Colin Kaepernick, for those who, I guess, spent the fall of 2018 or in 2017 even, under some kind of, rock, or don't pay much attention to sports or the news. So many, right-wing people and conservatives and even some liberals got very upset with him for refusing to stand during the national anthem. He ended up basically got direct criticism from the President of the United States, Donald Trump. He was also basically frozen out of the NFL. No one's given him a contract, even though he was a fairly good quarterback. He's better than some quarterbacks that start in the NFL. Anyway, he ended up getting a deal sometime last year, 2018, with Nike, just as some kind of like, Nike capitalizing on this figure in this particular time. It was essentially viewed by Nike as a good investment. No particularly. No credit to Nike. They know what they're doing. They're doing capitalism in the woke way. So anyway, when Nike decides to give this contract to Colin Kaepernick, conservatives lost their minds, and they started like tearing up their Nike shoes, cutting off the labels of their Nike socks, and they've done it again, folks, because when Colin Kaepernick steps up and he says that this is something that, this Betsy Ross flag is something that the American, that essentially people shouldn't be proud of, and then Nike listens to him and pulls that line of Betsy Ross shoes, they lost their minds again. There was a governor of Arizona that decided to cut off tax breaks or some kind of tax incentives from Nike, which, okay, fine. There was Donald Trump Jr. decided to post some kind of hammer and sickle, red and yellow shoes to imply that Nike were somehow communist. Nike are not communists. They are as capitalist gets. Capitalist to their bones, you might say. But they're a corporation, so they don't have bones. Anyway, they've had themselves quite a whale of a time just because Colin Kaepernick decided to say the thing that he said, and they're just these snowflakes are instantly triggered whenever that dude talks. And now whenever Nike does anything, they decide to just tear up and rip up Nike things, which means you're giving free advertising to Nike, which, okay, whatever. It's so extremely and ridiculously silly to see adult humans behaving in this way, but adult humans somehow behave this way sometimes. Oh my gosh, this just came across as well. There is and I'd have to find the reporting on this. This might be fake. There is and I'm just working from an image here. Iowa police officer, this is from Fox News, I don't have a date on it or anything, but Iowa police officer designs patriotic sneaker, and it's a black shoe with white stars and the Blue Lives Matter sort of design to the flag. And it says honor, star, respect. So, Blue Lives Matter, cop shoes, baby. Don't buy them. They're actually kind of ugly. I also don't see a label. I don't see what kind of shoe that is. I don't know. This has to be recent because the ticker tape that they have at the bottom. I'm going to find this. Here it is. Air Force veteran touts new shoe to honor law enforcement as Nike pulls patriotic flag sneaker. So you're going to pull your flag sneaker? I'll see you that and raise you another flag sneaker. Amid the controversy, this is from Fox News from, I guess, yesterday. Amid the controversy surrounding Nike scrapping plans for the American flag-themed sneaker, a U.S. Air Force veteran announced a new shoe he designed to benefit law enforcement officials. Ron Slagle, who now works as a police officer in Iowa, told Fox and Friends Wednesday that those who were helping to buy the Nike shoe, which featured the original Betsy Ross American flag, should check out his Honor and Respect sneaker instead. Proceeds from the sale of his sneakers, which are black, white, and blue, benefit Code 9 and Blue Help, two organizations which seek to improve the lives of officers suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He called Slagle called Colin Kaepernick's objection to the Nike sneaker and his continued protest of the American flag a, quote, disgrace to the actual profession. Which profession is he talking about? Like, the Betsy Ross objection with the shoe for Nike translates into a loss of history, Slagle said. And I believe, at times, it's the biggest loss we have is really knowing what the history about that is. But he is talking about the history. Colin Kaepernick is talking about the history of slavery in America. He's talking about how when that flag was flown, that there were also Americans. Well, there were also America wasn't even really. I mean, I guess it was technically declared a thing. But there were people in the United States who were owned by other people. He said in his statement that he did not approve of the flag because of the connection to slavery. And so this guy is saying that Kaepernick doesn't know about history. Kaepernick knows at least something about history. Maybe this guy doesn't know about history. But Fox News, that doesn't stop them from giving him a platform and giving him a sweet, sweet time and space to show off his shoes. I guess we can leave it there for today. We've talked about, flags and parades and tanks and yeah, we talked about people being held in absolutely atrocious conditions, and they should all be set free. They should all be liberated from these horrible concentration camps. The cop shoes gotta go. They're stupid and they're trash, and he's probably not going to sell any of them. And I guess have a good 4th. It's on a Thursday this time, so maybe if your boss doesn't suck that much, maybe you'll get Friday off too. If you even get Thursday off. I'm pulling for you, folks.